Welcome back to the TDB2K channel. Join me as we take a look at one of the great rivalries in the WWE, John Cena vs. Randy Orton. John Cena grew up a huge professional wrestling fan and always had a desire to become a professional wrestler, whereas Randy Orton had wrestling in his blood, as he is the son of WWE legend Cowboy Bob Orton and also a third-generation talent. John Cena as the prototype and Randy Orton had their first ever singles match against each other in their career before OVW at the 4th annual Brian Pillman Memorial Show in 2001. Both WWE Superstars got signed to the company and were sent to Ohio Valley Wrestling, a developmental wrestling promotion, as part of the legendary OVW class of 2002 that also included WWE legends like Brock Lesnar and Dave Bautista. John Cena and Randy Orton first officially crossed paths at an OVW practice on June the 16th of 2001. At the time, John Cena was given the name The Prototype, and both wrestlers admit to having no idea what they were doing. Randy Orton was the first of two to make his WWE debut. Orton debuted on the April 25th edition of WWE SmackDown in a match versus Hardcore Holly, and picked up an upset win in a very good impressionable first match. WWE legends such as Hulk Hogan and Triple H state that they saw potential early in Randy Orton, with Triple H regarding him as a natural talent with every gift imaginable to become the biggest superstar the WWE has ever seen, adding that the only person that could get in Orton's way is himself. Just 2 years into his WWE career, Randy Orton had already held the Intercontinental title and became the youngest WWE World Heavyweight Champion just at 24 years of age. While all of this was happening, John Cena was trying to make his own name for himself in the WWE. John Cena couldn't have had a much better start to his career, getting the opportunity to work with one of the greatest wrestlers of all time, Kurt Angle, in his debut on an episode of SmackDown in 2002. Unfortunately, John Cena was finding difficulty getting reactions from the crowd and almost got released from the WWE. But thankfully, Stephanie McMahon overheard him rapping, and that essentially saved his career. The Doctor of Thugonomics was born. John Cena was able to turn his career around and connect with the audience, and that's when he started getting pushed to the top of the card. John Cena would win the US title and the WWE Undisputed Championship by 2005, and was chosen by Vince McMahon to be the face of the WWE. Every face needs a heel to make a compelling rivalry. On one side, you had John Cena, who was the biggest face in the company at that point, and on the other side you had Randy Orton, who was the best heel in the company, who were introduced at almost identical times, both on different paths, until the July 23rd, 2007 edition of Monday Night Raw, where both of these superstars collided for the first time when Randy Orton delivered an RKO out of nowhere. These two WWE superstars would go on to define an entire generation with a multitude of matches between each other. Let's take a look at the most important matches and moments between John Cena and Randy Orton that would define their rivalry. Both men would face off for the very first time in the WWE at the 2007 SummerSlam pay-per-view for the WWE Spinner Belt. Both men went into the match with the intention of creating history. The match was a glimpse of excellence that we would come to expect from Cena and Orton, with Randy Orton controlling a majority of the action, but ultimately, it was John Cena who would retain and defeat the Viper, Randy Orton. On the August 27th, 2007 episode of Monday Night Raw, Randy Orton makes the rivalry that initially started as two of the best competing for the WWE Championship personal, when he targeted John Cena's father and rendered him completely unconscious with a vicious punt to the head, like Cena's dad's head was a soccer ball. John Cena Sr. recalled actually being knocked out cold, so John Cena was real life pissed off at Randy Orton for involving Cena's family into the feud. What made this match so intriguing is whether John Cena would be able to keep his composure and focus on retaining the WWE Championship, or if Randy Orton's plan of getting Cena to a state of rage and the desire for retribution would lead John Cena to get himself DQ'd. Despite Randy Orton winning the match by DQ, the title remained with John Cena. However, Randy Orton looked to punish Cena's father further with another punt to the head. But the tables turned as John Cena was able to interrupt Orton's coma-inducing punt and get Orton locked in the STF as his father almost kicked Randy Orton's head out of the arena. On the night after Unforgiven, Jonathan Coachman books John Cena Sr. versus Randy Orton and makes John Cena watch as his dad gets beaten down by Orton. John Cena tears himself free, taking down the entire turnbuckle, but it's too late as an RKO leaves Cena's dad unconscious, and the camera pans to the Viper with an evil look on his face. On October 1st, 2000 episode of Monday Night Raw, John Cena sustains an injury in a match against Mr. Kennedy. Orton comes out and delivers an RKO to Cena and continues to punish him further with the ring steps, followed by an RKO onto the announcer's table. The rivalry would be halted as it was revealed that John Cena had a clear torn right pec muscle and needed surgery that would keep him out for at least 6 months. But knowing John Cena, he would do anything he could to get back into that ring as early as possible. Without John Cena present in the WWE, Randy Orton was able to increase his popularity and take John Cena's spot. At the No Mercy pay-per-view on October 7th, 2007, Randy Orton would go on to defeat Triple H to become the new WWE Champion. Randy Orton believed that no one deserved to be WWE Champion more than him, but John Cena would soon challenge that statement, because at the Royal Rumble on January 27th, 2008, John Cena would make a shocking return as the number 30th entrant in Madison Square Garden. The match would come down to Cena and Triple H to decide who would be going on to main event WrestleMania 24 to face Randy Orton for the WWE Championship. And of course, Super Cena eliminated Triple H to win the Royal Rumble and booked his ticket to the main event of WrestleMania. We reached WrestleMania 24, which took place on the 30th of March 2008. The main event of WrestleMania 24 is a triple threat match between Triple H, Randy Orton, and John Cena. This is a career-defining match in the career of Randy Orton because it's very uncommon that a heel walks into WrestleMania as the champion and walks out retaining the title. This match was every man for himself, no disqualifications and no countout for the match. Each man got to have their moments of shine within the match, and it was looking like John Cena was going to win the match because at this stage of his career, John Cena was almost impossible to defeat. In the late stages of the match, he got hit with a pedigree by Triple H. Then Triple H got punted in the head by Orton, and the Viper stole the win, retaining the WWE Championship at WrestleMania 24. This match fooled everyone because no one thought Randy Orton would retain, so it was a nice little swerve the WWE did to not make the main event too predictable, and this also allowed the Cena and Orton rivalry to continue. The following Monday Night Raw after WrestleMania took place on March the 31st of 2008. Randy Orton comes out to the ring to start the show, looks the entire crowd in the eyes, and says if they were expecting someone else, with a evil grin on his face. John Cena in a backstage segment calls out Randy Orton for an I Quit match at Breaking Point for the WWE Championship and ensures victory because he will not quit. This leads to one of the most important matches in their rivalry, which took place at the WWE Breaking Point pay-per-view on September the 13th, 2009. An I Quit match is one of the most classic stipulations in the WWE. The only way to win an I Quit match is to inflict enough punishment onto your opponent until they have been forced to say the words, I quit. This was an emotionally driven match that had the audience at Cena and Orton's fingertips. Randy Orton, at this stage of his career, had a more vicious, evil style of wrestling during the era where he had a clean-shaven head. But no matter how much pain he inflicted to Cena, John Cena refused to say the words, I quit. This leads to Randy Orton putting on handcuffs onto Cena and punishing him with repeated kendo strike shots to Cena's midsection. But this still isn't enough to make Cena quit. Somehow, Cena removed one of the handcuffs and decides to cuff himself to Randy Orton, which made Orton go from confident to cowardly in a matter of seconds. And Cena proceeds to beat the shit out of Orton, putting him in an STFU with the handcuffs, eventually making Orton submit himself, which gave Orton no other choice but to say, I quit, reaching his breaking point. But thankfully for us, that would not be the final match between these two in 2009, because on October the 9th, 2009, at the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view, John Cena would defend his WWE Championship against the Viper, Randy Orton. All these different match types helped these two WWE superstars craft a story within a story, and the title went back and forth a majority of the time. But it was Randy Orton that would win back the WWE Championship in the hellacious structure that is Hell in a Cell. On October 5th, 2009, John Cena states that every time Randy Orton and John Cena face each other, the results are simply amazing, and he would like to challenge Orton to a rematch, but this time a 60-minute Iron Man match. This match took place on October the 25th, 2009, at the Bragging Rights pay-per-view. This match would test both individuals like they have never been tested before, a gut check like no other. The match rules went as followed. The clock would count down from 60 minutes, and the scores would keep track of the pinfalls and submissions in the matchup. The man with the highest score wins the match. This match was very intense. Both men were willing to put their bodies through hell to prove that they were the best WWE superstar in the company. At one point in the match, Orton threw Cena into the stage and literally tried to end him by hitting all the red buttons at the Pyro command station while Cena was laid out on the rampway. Just a small aspect that made this match so good. They had 60 minutes to create holy shit moments for the fans, and this match had plenty of them. With my personal favorite being when John Cena did an attitude adjustment to Randy Orton through the announce table, a moment that was so iconic it actually went on to become the WWE SmackDown vs. Raw loading screen that same year. With 9 minutes to go, both men were tied 5 apiece. With 30 seconds left, Cena had an STFU locked in on Orton, forcing Orton to tap out in the dying seconds of the match, making him once again the WWE Champion. 2009 was a high point for the Cena and Orton rivalry. However, both men would go on to separate paths for the following years, feuding with different wrestlers. It wasn't until 2013, when both men individually held gold, that it was time to unify the World Heavyweight and WWE Championship, as John Cena held the World Heavyweight Championship on Raw and Randy Orton held the WWE Championship on SmackDown. John Cena decided that there should only be one main WWE Champion in the company. This match would take place on December the 15th, 2013 at the TLC Tables, Ladders and Chairs pay-per-view. Both belts would be suspended above the ring. One of the competitors would need to climb a ladder to retrieve the belts and win the match. Only one of these men could truly call themselves the man if they were to win the match. Both these men had such a competitive rivalry, and this match was the culmination of that. Randy Orton would take out Cena and then climb the ladder to become the new WWE World Heavyweight Champion. John Cena would not be where he is now without a heel like Randy Orton, and Randy Orton needed someone like John Cena, the face of the company for so many years, to elevate himself to a completely different level. The rivalry between John Cena and Randy Orton cemented themselves as the top guys of their era. I'm not sure if any two guys have faced off as many times as Cena and Orton did in their primes in the WWE. Despite John Cena being a face for a majority of his rivalry against Randy Orton, with Randy Orton being the heel, for their final match at WWE Backlash in St. Louis, the roles were reversed as John Cena faced Randy Orton for the first time as a heel and used some dirty tactics to defeat the Viper in their final matchup to end the rivalry and prove that he may indeed be the greatest of all time.